Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Root Beer and Digivices podcast. I'm your host, Harold, or H. Timbers, and I'm here with my good friend Swaggy and Davo. All right, so say something to the audience, you two.
Here we are again,
Yo,
back at it again with number episode 2.
Yep,
yeah,
episode
episode two.
two.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That sounded way more cringy than I thought it would be. I try to make it sound like the Cork vid comics from Ratchet 3, but I badly executed it.
Oh, but the Switch 2 is already out. It's been out for 3 days now.
Where's the
So
time gone?
yeah.
Seemed
So
like
I just
only
wanted to ask,
yesterday.
what are y'all's thoughts on Switch 2 so far?
Well, I mean, it's still freshly new, and like not everyone has a not everyone owns one yet. I almost said copy, but like, how do you own a copy of a console? But like, I don't have
Yeah,
one yet, but like again, like it just came out, so there's not much on the system apart from Mario Kart World, and with the soon release of Donkey Kong Bonanza, or
Yeah.
uh, I, I must have I must have forgotten what the name was called. But again, like apart from people showing posts online about like the console's faster loading times for Animal Crossing, Smash, and whatnot, it's just like, well, faster loading times, and just yeah. And apparently, the GameCube controller for the Switch 2 even has gyro control, so it's compatible for Splatoon 3. So that's unique.
Nice.
However, the additional ZL button that was put on the GameCube controller doesn't work for Smash because it's registered as a GameCube controller, not a Pro controller.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
obviously.
it's a little weird, but I'll take that flaw.
Yeah.
I would just use my regular GameCube controller adapter for.
Okay.
Again, like I just find it funny how when it came to the Switch 2, people were all like, "Seriously, it's really that high of a price?" Meanwhile, the PS5 is all like, "First time."
Yep.
Yes. When the Switch 2 games were costing $90, who would pay for these? Says the same people who would dare to pay $80 for four separate $20 skins in Fortnite. Explain that.
True
Don't,
that.
don't, don't feel like paying $80 for a whole new game, but you're fine paying $80 for a total of four total Fortnite skins that cost $20. Explain that.
Tell me
Like,
about
what,
it, bro.
like where's the difference? From
Yeah.
four
Yeah,
skins,
not even competitive
four,
advantage either.
yeah,
Competitive.
four costumes versus the full game. What is everyone's perspective on content, or what's more valuable?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
When the amount of costumes in world that are way or don't cost as much, but like it sure doesn't surpass Fortnite's skin number of skins. But come on,
Yeah. I mean, it's already only been 3 days since I started playing the Switch 2. Only game I've played so far is Mario Kart World, obviously, since that's pretty much one of the only games that was out at launch, other than like Fortnite, basically.
well, at least the Switch
And
One games are compatible on the Switch Two, or there
Most
might be
of them
like
are.
a few that's not, but
I
I heard
mean,
like the apps are not compatible with it, like
yeah.
YouTube, Hulu, and Crunchyroll.
I mean, I know that the game that came with the VR kit from Nintendo Labo isn't even compatible with Switch 2.
well, no,
Mainly,
no, because the Switch 2's tablet is way bigger than the expected than the cardboard's little case for the Switch One model.
yep. That thing
Even
literally reminds me of that Steam Deck. If y'all even remember that thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember the Steam Deck, but I don't have one, so
yeah, I don't have one
Uh,
either.
Me neither.
hmm.
And I mean, in all seriousness, the Switch 2 isn't really that bad of a console, but I definitely wouldn't choose the Switch 2 over a PlayStation 5 or even a Switch 1, despite its backwards compatibility.
Well, the Switch 2 is still, again, it's still freshly new, so time will tell whether or not the Switch 2 is worth it or not, or if the Switch 1 is still preferred. Again, like, we'll have to see if the Switch 2's exclusives are worth it, or if you'll run into a situation like the PS5 where the only thing that's good for it is just increased, it's just the controllers being slightly larger, or just, who knows. Again, we'll have to see. Again, I'm not saying Mario Kart World is the only good exclusive or whatnot, but just like, we'll just have to see when Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out, whenever Kirby Air Riders comes out, and whether or not we're getting Smash Ultimate Deluxe or Smash 6. We'll have to see. And what else could be put on the system?
I mean, there are quite a couple games that I'd want to see on Switch 2, including the new upcoming Digimon Story Time Stranger, which is coming out on the 3rd of October of this year, as well as Dynasty Warriors Origins, which is already out and has been out since January.
I mean, if the Switch 2 is confirmed to have the same amount of power as a PS4, I wouldn't be surprised if we would get like a somewhat of a simplified version of Persona 3 Reload or some way, since the Switch already has Persona 5 Royal. But
yeah,
considering that Persona 4 Revival was just announced, I doubt the Switch 2 could even handle Persona 4 R. Who knows?
I mean, I'd probably say it could, just because, yeah, it may not be as powerful. I mean, even if the Switch 2 isn't as powerful as like PS5 or Xbox Series X, it kind of is almost close to there, at least in TV mode. I mean, yeah, tabletop mode, not so much.
I mean, the fact that the tablet can now do 1080p on the Switch 2, that's quite well of an improvement. Not to say that 720p was bad, but still quite a good feat.
Yeah.
Imagine in 7 or 8 years we get the rumored Switch 3 and the tablet mode can now do 4K or even 8K or even 16K.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wouldn't even be a tablet anymore. It would just be like a giant TV that everyone can just hold on their hands.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do believe that they'll release like new models of the Switch 2 sometime later on, because they did it with the Switch 1 with the Lite in 2019 and then the OLED 2 years later.
It's still too early to start making slim or pro models.
Yeah.
I kind of think that the PS5 getting a slim and a pro model was a little too early.
Yeah. Plus,
considering the timing for the PS3 and PS4 slims and pro models were more timed finely. Well, no way. The PS3 didn't have a pro model. It had like a slim and a super slim model. While the fourth one had a slim and a pro model technically.
Yeah. Honestly, have y'all heard about how one of the GameStops in New York literally like stapled receipts, I think, to the Switch?
Yeah, and it punctured the screen. I bet they got sued.
Yeah, I can already see the amount of lawsuits happening because of that.
I saw a little bit, and I was just like, how close is the Switch to the box, or the lid of the box? And how and how far are the staplers puncturing the boxes with the staples? There's no way the lid is that so thin, and the Switch's screen is that close.
It is.
Yeah.
And if I were to look at the Switch 1 box, I assure you there's no way a stapler could puncture through the box and somehow crack the screen. I'm sure the Switch 1 box had much more of a thicker lid than the Switch 2's box. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if some people confuse the OLED as Switch 2, since some people mentioned that the Switch 2's box is similar to the OLED's box.
Yeah.
And then you see like the two on.
And what else? I've already said this, but like again, like I find it surprising that someone has already opened up the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, and funny enough,
But
say it again, the Switch 2's Joy-Cons have similar stick boxes as the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. So you know what that means? Another 7 or 8 years of Joy-Con drift. Are we all excited? Hurrah!
I should say I'm surprised by that, but at the same time, though, I'm really not. I'm more so surprised at the fact that it's literally happening as early as now.
I mean, I
So,
mean, I mean, there was that one. There was that one YouTube video called the Switch One's launch, and it's just a compilation of people having problems with launching their Switch, like where some people had like a glitch of screen, the Switch wouldn't turn on, or even they had trouble taking the little things off the Joy Cons when holding them, or better yet, someone was trying to put in their copy of Breath of the Wild, and the Switch just couldn't read it, and the guy was all like, "So where's my game?" Oh
oof,
man, I can't wait to see that happen with this one, and just we've already seen some of that already. The boxes being stapled and the screen art being cracked.
yeah.
I've already saw a video of someone buying a Switch 2, and they purposely were in the public, and they're all like, "I'm gonna break it," and they literally hammer the screen. It's just like
Oh God.
it reminded me of that one
Mm.
video of
It's
someone
just
shredding a PS5, and I'm just like, why are you destroying a brand new console? Come on.
They paid like hundreds for it.
I can't
What in
stand
the
that
world?
shit. I honestly can't stand it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 has a scalping problem. Hey, the hey,
I'll
the
be,
Probably
hey,
already
hey, the
happened
hey,
now.
the Wii went through a sculpting issue when that thing was popular, and the PS5 went through it too. I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 goes through it too.
but honestly,
Everything
Oh,
goes
it
through a sculpting
is.
issue.
though, I really wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 per se ends up not really selling all that well, at least compared to like the PlayStation 5 and maybe the Xbox Series X.
I can just imagine it right now. All the people are all like, the Wii U sucks, and then they pick up the Switch 2, and they're all like, you know what? The Wii U was heavily underrated.
Yeah.
And
And it
people are,
is.
and some people are already saying that Switch 2 could be the next Wii U failure. I'm just like,
I can see that.
time will
I can
tell.
see that.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to saying like, oh, the Switch 2 is gonna be a complete flop, but it's just like, well, it's the same system, just a bit bigger and some improvements, but like, what
Yeah.
else is there apart from the first one? Apart from the Joy Cons are now magnetic instead of sliding upon now.
Yeah.
I mean, people are already testing out like how strong it is, like with like durability and how good is its strength, durability, and whatnot. So it's just like the same coup de grace. I think I butchered that phrase.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
and then again, like, we only have like the blue and like reddish orange colors Joy-Con. So who knows when we get like other colors for the Joy-Cons?
Yeah. But yeah, like I was gonna say like one of the a huge advantage that Wii U had that the Switch and even Switch 2 didn't have is the fact that the Wii U actually had like virtual console games from literally the Nintendo DS.
Mm.
And yeah,
That's true. I do remember seeing Mario Kart DS on there.
and
yeah,
Super Mario 64 DS, and Super Mario Bros. Even Star Fox Command.
yeah.
But didn't the virtual console for the DS games have a weird screen filter or something, or was that for the GBA games?
I'm not even sure.
I think that might have been for like the Game Boy games.
I mean, I know that when it comes to like the virtual console games, the Wii U can in the eShop for the Wii U, you could literally get games that were on the NES, SNES, GBA, N64, DS, and Wii.
I find it funny that for some of the Wii Virtual games that were ported to Wii U, you had to rebuy them if you want to play them on Wii U.
Oof,
That
Or you
was
just put in the disc. That's
yeah.
optional.
Yeah.
I first got Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Wii U.
Yep. I honestly
Yeah.
find it kind of weird, like buying Wii games on a Wii U. Now, if they were like WiiWare games, then I can understand that. But like these were Wii games that were like released physically back in the day, like on disc, like Super Mario Galaxy, Galaxy 2, yada yada.
well, the Wii U was compatible with Wii games.
True. And
I I,
Well,
I
it
mean
switches it to Wii mode whenever you launch it, and so
I mean heck, like way after the Wii's, production, even after the Wii's, even after when the Wii was done being produced and whatnot, the Just Dance games were still being made for the console. It's just like we're still getting Just Dance on the Wii.
yeah, they stopped that in like 2019.
Yep.
Well, 2019 was the last time there was a Just Dance game on the Wii, as the last Wii game was in literally 2020 with
Mm-hmm.
Shakedown Hawaii, which is also the last game released on the PS3 as well, believe it or not.
Yep.
But
Mm.
yeah. So, yeah, so I've pretty much played quite a lot of Mario Kart World so far. I literally have all of the characters and gotten all of the costumes for the playable characters as well as the
Mm.
fact that I've literally got gold trophy and 3 stars on all of the cups in Grand Prix as well as Knockout Tour.
Mm.
All I need to do now is just basically like get all of the question mark panels as well as complete all or at least most of the P Switch missions. Because after that, then I'll be able to get the chance to unlock mirror mode.
Oh
I'll,
yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that. I remember recently seeing a video or two about people explaining how to unlock mirror mode, and it's just like, oh, so mirror mode is back.
yeah, but it's hard to get. Then you know, it's pretty hard to get though. But the good thing is, like, you literally don't even have to like place or like get all 3 stars in all cups of Grand Prix or Knockout Tour to get mirror mode. Believe it or not,
Mm.
just complete all of the cups in each mode, as well as like get the 10 Peach medallions, 10 question mark block panels, and 40 P Switch missions. Yeah, I definitely plan on doing the question mark panels uh, later on today. A lot
Well,
of
oh,
another.
sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say. So I was in a voice chat in one of the servers I'm in on Discord, and from what I heard, people don't really like the Switch 2 all that much, mainly due to the fact that the battery life isn't as good as like the Switch ones, for example.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember watching I remember watching Nathaniel Bandy's video about the Switch 2, and yeah, the battery life on Switch 2 is way more shorter than the 3 to 4 hours you had on a full charge when playing Breath of the Wild back on launch day.
Yeah,
I
even though
mean, they had to sacrifice some things to make sure the Switch 2 had a lot more gimmicks and whatnot and improvements.
yeah,
Some sacrifices had to be made.
true. Even though the battery for my Nintendo Switch 1 is messed up in the sense that it will literally stay at 1% for like an hour or two, and I literally cannot turn it off. Otherwise, it'll just say it's dead when it's legit still alive. At the very least, the battery life on my Switch 1, despite that, is literally longer than the Switch 2 so far.
And to this day, our Nintendo DSs are still holding a fair amount of battery to this day.
Yeah.
People complain about how terrible the battery life is for the 3DS, Switch, and whatnot. Meanwhile, our 10-year-old DSs still have like 2 to 3 bars still of battery life. Still, like
As
what
well
happened here?
as well as PSP and PS Vitas. You could say.
What can I say? Not using a device that drains the battery for a long time. It restores back to its original battery life time duration, or it just even enhances it or something. Who knows? I've been using my new phone for so long, to the point where when I turned on my old phone one time, the battery life that used to be from wherever it went to be, it went back to being like 28 hours, and it's like, man,
Ooh.
leaving the phone off and cold is just extends the battery life. So I tried doing that with my new phone, where I didn't use it as much, but now I have it back to like where the battery life at least lasts a full day instead of like almost under 12 hours. So man, it just goes to show how much we use our phones and devices and how quick the battery can drain.
Yep.
I mean, heck, like I remember playing the heck out of my 3DS and DS so much to the point where it just drains.
Yeah. Now, while I don't think Mario Kart World is a bad game at all, I do kind of prefer over Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, to be fair. At the same time, though, I really don't find it shocking that many people are choosing to play on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe over Mario Kart World, including a certain artist that me and another friend of mine who's in my who who's in the movie nights and game nights in my server. Yeah, no surprise why they're still playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe even after Mario Kart World's been out.
Well, not all of us have a Switch too, so
I
it's
mean,
still fairly new and expensive.
yeah,
And
but
then again, like some people are nostalgic for 8 because, like, well, Mario Kart 8 was their first Switch game or first Mario Kart game.
the
I
thing
mean,
is, oh,
and again, like, I remember I'm more nostalgic for Mario Kart Wii, but like, as much as
yeah,
I like 8, it's just like I was there when the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8 was released.
same.
11 years of Mario Kart 8, both the Wii U and the Switch version. I'd say for me, if I had the chance to get a Switch 2, I'd say it's definitely time to move on to a new game, to the new Mario Kart game, because, like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, I still like 8, no matter if it's the Wii U or Switch version, but I've played all the tracks dozens of times now, and apart from the Booster Course past tracks, because like those just came out, and I don't have as much knowledge as the first 48 tracks, but still. There's
yeah,
only so many times. There's only so many times I can enjoy playing on TikTok Clock, or us in your server, just having a blast replaying some of the tracks in 150cc or 150cc or 200cc. So, and besides like even again, like even with some of the item distributions, like with how world changes the items and whatnot, it's just like, it's finally great that like there's new items, but like I don't like the fact that some items were changed or nerfed in world, because like the bullet
yeah,
bill went from being a helpful tool that can knock other races away. Now it's just a glorified move ahead of the pack now, and it just pushes everyone to the side instead of attacking them. It lost it lost its attacking abilities. It's now just a passive item.
yeah. Hey, Davo, you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm
Sounds
stealing.
great.
Sorry, I'm hogging the spotlight, Devo.
Yeah. No, I remember when I got Mario Kart 8 for Wii U digitally, and then Club Nintendo gave me the opportunity to pick a free games, and I picked Wind Waker HD.
Nice. Yeah, they actually put Wind Waker as on the
The GameCube.
GameCube app for Switch 2 as part of the classics. That
I
game,
even,
along with,
oh, sorry.
oh, I was gonna say, like, that game along with F Zero GX and Soul Calibur 2 were added to the library.
I saw a thing where people were saying like the resolution and loading times for Wind Waker on the GameCube thing was improved.
Yeah.
So like loading times were quicker or something, and
Yeah.
resolution is upscaled because it's an emulator. But
Yeah.
I don't know if the question is, I don't know if the upscaling is top notch or if Wind Waker HD and Wii U has a better resolution.
Yeah. To be honest, too, I'm actually planning on getting the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube controller that they're selling, so that
Very
people can,
good before they scalp it.
yeah.
They probably already have. So
Yeah, I mean, because I've already have like both the NES controllers that kind of function like Joy Cons. You put them on the side
Right.
of yeah.
And there's also the SNES ones, as well as like the Dream, as well as like the not the Dreamcast, the Sega Genesis controllers, as well
Yeah,
as the N64 controllers. But like,
yeah. I have the NES ones as well as the one for the Super Nintendo, and then the other one for the Nintendo 64. I just need the Sega Genesis one, even though I don't really like play Genesis games, nor have I ever really.
I mean, more power to you. If you want to get it, go ahead. But like, if it's not your thing, then don't sweat about it.
I'd say I kind of only did it, got those controllers just to like feel nostalgic and experience, what people had to play with back in the day. Even though
Well,
I
I mean,
literally own both a Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 myself,
well,
and I actually
well,
I bought games for it, quite a few actually during my trip to Fan Expo Philadelphia last month.
I mean, for the times I used to play for the times I tried playing the N64 or even the Genesis games on Switch with my Joy Cons or my Pro controllers. I mean, it's still doable. It's a little weird since the button layouts are different, and the buttons are and the way how to use them on a different controller. That's not a Genesis controller is not the same, but like I got used to it. And the same thing for for the N64 one. It was a little weird having to press ZL or ZR, then having to press one of the buttons to make it seem like I'm pressing one of the C buttons. But hey, they had to make sure they had to compromise it some way to make it work.
Yep.
Even if it's a little weird and clunky, they managed to make it work somehow, and that's fine.
One thing that I saw on Twitter that I legit found crazy is someone talking about how they fully completed Mario Kart World, and then they straight up proceeded to legit straight up delete the game from their Switch 2 console, and then went back to playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah.
but
Bro, literally said, hey Nintendo, how fast can what's the latest that I can sell that I can get my copy? No, when's the earliest that I can get a refund of Minecraft World? Under 2 hours, and proceeds to fully complete the game and resells it back in under 2 hours.
I
don't think
remember.
that's how that works with Nintendo.
I just wanted to pair it off of that one video I saw where someone tried to fully get all the achievements for a Steam game before Steam said you can't refund the game.
Oh yeah, because they say like after 2 hours you can't refund it.
And then
Or 2 weeks.
And someone tried to get all the achievements for a game before the refund was expired. I'm just like, you paid for a game, got all the achievements, and was still able to get a refund after getting all the achievements. I don't know if they've enjoyed the game or if they're just doing it just because they were just if they were just insane.
Yeah.
I say that I've watched an entire history video of the entirety of the Balloons games, and the community just does wacky things in other ways to solve the hardest levels in the games, like the craziest solutions to beat the hardest maps on chimps mode or something, just like whatever it takes to beat these levels on chimps mode with all the crazy restrictions that people put on the games.
But yeah, but to be honest though, it's kind of surprising that he did that, but at the same time, it really isn't, because they literally charged $80 for Mario Kart World, 50 if you got the digital download alongside the console. Like
Yeah,
physical
but
version and the digital version on eShop is literally $80, and it's like, honestly, it is not worth the price. If it was $70, then I could understand that, because that's the same price for the games that have been released on like the PS5 and Xbox Series X for the most
and
part.
also Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 1.
There's not much we can say about the Switch games being super expensive. I mean, we're now in the market where games are getting more expensive, and with how pricing is nowadays, with modern pricing and whatnot, it's not a surprise that the games are going to be expensive. I mean, heck, with the fact that the GTA 6 will come out next year in May in 2026, I wouldn't be surprised if I were to go to GameStop and the price tag for GTA 6 costed at exactly or above $100. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm telling you this right now. I wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 would cost $100. Heck, if Smash 6 were to cost $100, fine. You know,
Yeah.
I may not like the high price, but you just gotta take it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wish that the Switch the Switch 2 would do more sales. It just seems like they barely do sales, and if there were sales, they barely last any longer than the times that there were like a rerunning badges for Nintendo Badger Kid on the 3DS,
Yeah.
and that's saying something.
Like I legit remember seeing a video on YouTube where some guy went to Best Buy to like see about like Switch 2 games, and literally there were a crap ton of Switch 2 consoles literally on display. And I'm just like, oh boy. Yeah. And apparently, from what I heard, the launch of the Switch 2 is kind of considered somewhat of a flop.
Again, like it's the same console, just with a few minor improvements. Again, there's only there's only like one or two new games. One that's just one that the ones that's just like a priced a tech demo. The other is like a finally, and the other one is like a brand new entry of an existing franchise. Again, there's not much. I mean, sure, there's a library of the Switch One games, in the pre-existing library of digital games, but like.
Yeah.
Again, like we'll just have to see what can be put on the Switch 2. Who knows if like like what could even be put on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a miracle if GTA 6 were to come on to Switch 2, but like I assure you, it would probably run terrible.
I mean, if anything, they should release GTA 5 on there, like how they did with the game on PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a few extra money for Rockstar, but like at this point, we're just ready for GTA 6. Like we've been waiting ever since the announcement, the leaks, everything. It's just like at this point, we're just counting down until the launch date.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I literally prefer like the old gen versions of GTA 5 over the new gen versions. Literally the PS3 and Xbox 60 versions over the ones on the future consoles, including PS4, 5, and Xbox One, Series X, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it just seems so unique and different from the next gen ones.
Well, I mean, it came out in 2013, so it's not much of a surprise that like it's kind of like a late PS3 game, and the PS4 version had a few extra visual improvements.
Yep. But yeah, I did talk about two of the games that I definitely would want to see on the Switch too, including Digimon Story Time Stranger, which is coming out this year in October, as well as Dynasty Wars Origins, which already
Mm.
came out in July.
I mean, the only games I could think about being on the Switch 2 is maybe just like Weathering Waves, and then maybe like I don't know, like
I'm thinking
some
maybe
some.
Genshin Impact too.
Well, I could probably even see like Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, maybe like Weathering Waves being acceptable now. Who knows? What if that one rumored Genshin on Switch leak was actually true, but like it wasn't feasible on Switch 1, so they had to do it function. They had to make it work on Switch 2. But I mean, heck, if the Switch, heck, if the Switch 2 is just as powerful as a PS4, I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2's visuals are just as similar as the PS4 version, or if it had a few things trimmed down to make it work. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Although one thing I do want to question is whether like Koei Tecmo is working on like a Switch 2 version of another like Dynasty Wars game. Well, Dynasty Wars spinoff game that they released this year called Warriors Abyss. Literally, like not even 4 months after Origins had released.
I don't know. I don't know their schedule. I don't work at their company.
You don't have to work at their company to know that.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I'm not someone at school that has an uncle that works at Nintendo, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. But I think that might be one of the reasons why we haven't had like an update for Warriors Abyss and ever since like April, 2 months ago, almost 2 months ago. But I do feel like that they might be working on like a Switch 2 version. Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, considering the fact that we we literally have Warriors Abyss not only on PS5 and Xbox Series X, but also on PS4 as well.
Yeah.
Plus, there's the fact that it released a Nintendo Switch 1 version of it released like 2 days after.
Yeah.
And then there's also the upgrade packs of like getting Switch 2 editions of like Switch 1 games like the Legends of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, as well as Super Mario Party, Jamboree.
Didn't some of the Switch 1 games already get some upgrades or some other like or other like fixed up versions
Some
for
got
Switch
some
2?
free. Some got some free upgrades like Super Mario Odyssey and
Oh yeah,
Pokemon
that's
Scarlet and Violet.
As
Oh,
well
yeah,
as
that-
like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
that's right. Both Odyssey and Captain Toad got some like resolution upgrades. Like Odyssey now runs at 4K. And Pokemon in the new Pokemon games run at 60 instead of 30.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
well,
more
that's one of the
pop-ins.
games. Yeah, well, that's one of the games you don't have to worry about me getting. Was the last one you said?
It's funny. It's funny. Game Freak, the company known for making Pokemon, they just recently announced like a brand new game at the recent Xbox thing. It's just like, huh?
Oh.
They've actually made something that besides Pokemon, and it actually looks kind of cool. Actually,
Yeah.
be careful of who you call ugly in middle school.
True that.
No. Okay. I was trying to figure out how to joke with that, but I didn't think of it thoroughly.
Yeah. I understand. But yeah, but like they're saying that you have to pay for like the Switch 2 upgrades, which I honestly think is kind of complete bullshit.
I mean, the PS5 did that, so
I mean,
why complain when one other console did it too? So hey, one console did it too. Why complain?
I mean, to be real here, at the very least, when it came to like PS5 upgrades of like PS4 games, at least they gave you like another trophy list. So that way, like if you
And
got
they include the DLC as well.
Yep. Like if you had the platinum trophy, for example, on the PS4 version, then you could also get it on like the PS5. If not,
True.
then definitely,
True.
play through it and get it easily.
True,
Yeah,
but
that's what I
then
did with Frontiers.
true, but then again, like sometimes the ways how you got it in PS5 was different because either you had to like either import your completed save file from PS4 or you had to like redo it from scratch. Because like I remember, this may be false, but like I kind of remembered when Jack and Daxter 1 was remastered to PS5, the trophy list was completely changed from how it was on PS4. But by the time I was playing the PS5 version, the trophy list for the PS5 version was mainly identical to the PS4's HD port. So it might have just been like a little a quick switch back to how it worked on PS4. So it's not well technically if by the time I was playing it, it was already like the PS4's version. So it wasn't like how with Crash 4 where I could just import my save, still play a few levels to get all the trophies, bada bing, bada boom. I had to replay the whole game from start to finish, but I didn't complain. I was having fun. In fact, I plotted the PS5 version within in like 9.5 hours. I had fun.
Yeah.
Then again, I did overuse the rewind tool feature a bit to make it seem like I took no damage and no deaths. So. But this time I decided to not use the glitch to get that one yellow power cell, that one power cell early in during that one zoomer section just before just before like the last area in the game. So no, it's not level 2, but it's that one zoomer section that you had through that forest area in the mountains before you enter that one area before you enter that one hub area that before you can enter Spider Cave, that ice level in the other level. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whatever that area was called.
There's some PS1 games I had to do like more than one playthrough.
Yeah.
There was Ape Escape, and then there was Toy Story 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the only like PS4 to PS5 game upgrade that I ever paid like $10 for or any money for was really Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Because they released a remaster of that game on the PS5. And of course, it's compatible with PlayStation VR 2. But like,
And you can use the disc from PS4 version.
yeah. But like, there's the fact that, they released the PS5 version literally around the same time as Help Wanted 2, literally the same year.
I mean, not every port of a game will be free or be as cheap, but like still like if people are complaining about the Switch 2's ports being expensive and they're just shrugging off and people are just shrugging off the PS5 ports, I don't know why people are just shrugging off one system and they're complaining about another one when the other one started it, and the other one is just joining the trend of ports costing either less or just as amount as the original.
Yeah.
I mean, I highly doubt this, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a Switch 2 port of Kirby Star Allies where the game is finally playable in 60 frames instead of just only in the title, as of only just the main menu and the mini games. But
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Again, I'm not much of a frame rate nerd, but like again, like I don't mind if a game runs at 30 or 60, but like there's people that have like that have their bias for 60 frames. Again, I'm not saying 30 frames looks bad, but like 60 does look nice, and sometimes honestly 30 frames looks better, and other times 60 frames looks either smooth or too smooth.
Yeah.
Just sometimes playing one game at 30 frames and then going to another game that runs at 60, it just seems like, whoa, this is a little too smooth, or yeah.
Yeah. So, was there anything else we should talk about regarding Switch 2?
Were there anything that you wanted to see on the Switch 2, Davo, or not, or nothing comes to mind?
Man, nothing comes to mind because I haven't really had any experience with it.
Oh.
Fair point.
I haven't really been playing my Switch 2, my Switch 1 recently. I mean, I can't speak.
Okay.
I have a Switch OLED, so.
if there's one thing I kind of wish the Switch 2 could have done better, like they could have at least named it better than just Switch 2. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marketing.
Some people were saying like it could have been called the Super Nintendo Switch because you know Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
They could have brought back an old thing.
Yeah.
The Super Switch.
Honestly, I'm just hoping that at some point the Switch 2 will have like DS games, like full on DS, like how the Wii U did.
I'll just say this: if the fact that Switch 2 has the GameCube the GameCube emulator, that just means one thing. In the future, I don't know if this will happen, but I would just like to see this happen. There's a Switch 2 direct. Nintendo's all like, please look at this. You hear the Switch 2 magnet click sound, and then when the screen turns black, you then just see warning, health and safety, and it says press A to continue, and you hear the iconic Wii menu theme. That would be amazing if there's like a Wii emulator for the Switch 2. I would love it.
Yeah. And imagine if they made like a custom like Wii remote for Switch Online. They should
just imagine like the Wii remote works fine for the right Joy-Con, but they have to figure out like how to make the nunchuck work as a Joy-Con.
True.
When the nunchuck has just a joystick and two buttons, how can you turn a controller with a stick and two buttons into a Joy-Con? Like, how would that work?
Yeah. I feel like it would work well with Super Mario 3D All-Stars because of Mario Galaxy. Because I know for a fact that the GameCube controller is compatible with Super Mario Sunshine, and the N64 virtual controller is compatible with Super Mario 64.
This may just be a little biased of me, but like, if Nintendo really wants to Switch to do well, it's one thing. They just need to do one thing for one of their things. They already gave us the GameCube emulator, but they're forgetting one important thing that stands out for the GameCube. Say it with me: Super Smash Brothers Melee. Put it on the GameCube emulator for Switch 2, and I trust you, the Switch 2 will make bank. Come on.
Or they could also put on Super Mario Sunshine and Double Dash 2.
Well, we already have. Well, true, but like. Then again, I find it funny how Nintendo was all like, "Oh, I find it funny how Nintendo delisted Mario 3D All Stars and insisted on making a Switch 2 enhancements for the game."
Yeah.
Watch them bring it back, and they're all like, "You wanted Galaxy 2? Here you go, Galaxy 2, $30. It gone in 5 days. Have fun scalping."
I've actually completed both Mario 64 and Sunshine on 3D All Stars. I just need to beat Galaxy.
We already have like
two of those physically.
the
I
only
have
thing
Sunshine and I have Galaxy, and I have Galaxy.
the only thing I can say for the other Switch Online emulators, if they want to sell well, like to sell very well, it's simple. For the Game Boy emulators, port all the Game Boy Pokemon games on there. Even if it's gonna be like a nightmare to make it work, to make it possible, or better yet, for the N64 application, give us both Conker's Bad Fur Day and Smash 64. If Nintendo just stops, if Nintendo could just stop being on like, oh, Conker's Bad Fur Day, why do we think of that? If they decide to, all they need to do is that they just need to grab, they need to lift up their overalls, be all like, okay. This may be a terrible product of our past, but we have fans that love the product. All they have to do, bring it back, put it on the emulator, and I trust you, and I assure you, they'll be saying money. Sure, it may not be money from newer stuff, but like, hey, it's money worth getting.
Yeah.
Not to put it on Conker's Bad Fur Day on the other Nintendo 64 app though, because of the rating.
Yeah. Right, the M-rated version, but still, like, come on. We have the emulators. Just give us the game.
Yeah. They should also give us Diddy Kong Racing as well. Honestly.
I know. Where is it? I'm not saying the current library sucks, but like, there's some good ones, but like, they kind of need to fix something because, like, Majora's Mask, it does need the expansion pack, and the Switch Online thing does not have that, and that's a kind of an issue.
Yeah.
More importantly, where's Donkey Kong 64? That's a cultural classic.
Yeah. I actually got the first 2 Donkey Kong Country games on Super Nintendo. I'm just missing the third one.
Yeah, I think yeah, you've already told us that.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to have the first one be like the SNES Mini, and I have the second one on my new 3DS XL.
Okay,
The Virtual Console in it.
this may be a bit of a jump, but like if we already have like the first 3 Mario Party games on the N64 application, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to try to put Mario Party 4 through 7 on the GameCube application, since there were 4 Mario Party games on the GameCube. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, now I think about it. Does anyone remember that one minigame in 6 or 7 where you had to like use the mic and you had to like say what was the fruit shown in that minigame with Toadsworth? Imagine how that works with the Switch 2's camera.
I mean, the Switch has
no.
the Switch 2 has a built-in microphone, though I'm not sure if it's through the system itself or through the Joy-Cons.
No, but just imagine you're playing that minigame on Switch 2, and you're trying to say the correct fruit, and the Switch 2's microphone is just as bad as the GameCube mic. Imagine that. Oh man.
Yeah.
You're just trying to say strawberry in this, and Toadsworth is just saying, what was that? And it's just like, oh, the nightmare continues.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We have not seen Toadsworth in years.
Nope. Yeah, blah 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 blah.
He hasn't properly talked since Sunshine, so.
Yeah.
Oh no!
We haven't gotten him since Mario and Luigi Dream Team back in 2013.
I recall seeing Toadsworth in Bowser's Inside Story, but I don't know about Dream Team or Paper Jam.
Dream Team, he was in that one. That was actually his last actual appearance.
So he was. Yeah, that's right. I don't recall seeing him in Paper Jam.
Yeah, literally 12 years ago. But yeah. So, I guess that's it. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about regarding Switch 2?
Not really.
Well, it's still fairly new, but like, again, like, some of us are waiting for when it's not so expensive. Some of us are going to wait for, when their favorite game comes out, or, when the next Smash Bros. Game comes out. But like, I mean, I've heard about how good the Switch 2's Pro Controller is, but like,
I want to get
apart from all the complaints and all the problems of the Switch 2's launch and whatnot, I mean, console launches are going to have some problems. They're not perfect, but like, what can you do?
Yeah.
But like, whether or not the Switch 2 succeeds, or it'll become, or whether or not it'll succeed, or be just as a flop as the Wii U, or even the Virtual Boy, who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah.
Again, like, the Switch 2, it could do well, it could fail. Who knows?
Yeah. I got a 1-year warranty for my Switch 2 in case if anything happens to it. I decided not to like risk my chances, because I remember when like the PS5 and Xbox Series X came out, the consoles had quite a lot of problems, such as the PS5 bricking when it enters rest mode, as well as when the Xbox Series X at one point literally would not read discs.
Wow, that is something. I never thought that the PS5 would break itself when you put in rest mode. I'm surprised I never ran into that issue.
I ran into that issue with my PS4 like literally 5 years ago.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it would literally get bricked like every single week to 2 weeks.
Oh, that would suck. Oh, that sucked.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, some of my uh, save data wasn't really affected all that much. But what was affected was my save data on Persona 5.
Oh no.
Because it took me from all the way to the 7th Palace, which is Shido's. When it
Ah.
bricked, I was on Shido's Palace. And then after it bricked, it took me all the way the fuck back to the beginning of Kanashiro's Palace.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucked.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't auto upload, did it?
Yeah.
Oh no. That
I was
sucked.
mad as hell.
Oh man. To this day, I still love the Palace theme of Shido's Palace. Arc is such a it's just such a bop, man.
Yeah.
Man, I love that song. It may not be as good as some other songs, it may not be as catchy as it's going down though from Persona 3 Reload, but like I still love Arc. It's such a good song. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like I like to listen as much. I like to listen a lot. Like the amount of times I used to listen to like how many times I used to listen to Megacorp HQ from Ratchet 2. Like I don't know if just me, but just like I just kind of like I just like how both those songs have this like, you know, it's the final level, and you know it has like the high stakes feel to it. Well,
Yeah.
technically, Shido's Palace isn't technically the last palace. It's like the second last or third last if you're counting Maruku's, if you're counting the third semester palace and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I just like the high stakes feel the song has to it, and I still like how like it has like the Tokyo daylight motif and maybe the Persona 4 title screen motif to it.
But yeah, but kind of yeah. Even though I am glad I, got a Switch 2 at launch, because literally the day before, I went to my GameStop at about like 10 a.m. and there was only like 4 people online waiting for it. I waited that long to like purchase a Nintendo Switch. I of course just bought the console by itself. I didn't buy the Mario Kart World bundle since I already had Mario Kart World pre-ordered, even though it costed like $30 more. It's just because I'm into physical games more than digital games. Sue me.
Were there still any other? Were there still? I can't speak right. Were there other people still there trying to get one there physically, or was there not much people, and the only amount of people there were just others trying to get other stuff?
I mean, there were a lot of people that were getting the Switch 2. I was able to get one because I was like the 4th one in line.
So there's still there was still there still was a large line for Switch 2.
Yeah. Although I do know that around like noon, I literally had to like go into the local Wawa nearby to like cool down and whatnot because I was literally vomiting because of how overheated I was.
Oh, did people save your spot in line?
Yeah, they did.
Oh man, that's good because like
they knew who I was.
Oh man, that would have sucked it if you had to leave your spot and people said like, "Sorry, bud, end the line," and you lost your chance of getting the system. That would have sucked.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I do want to get like the Nintendo Switch 2 camera as well as the official Switch 2 Pro controller at some point. I know the Switch 1 like Joy-Cons and Pro controller are compatible with Switch 2, but I'd rather get like official stuff for like Switch 2 than to like use backwards compatible stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yep. That kind of I guess that kind of wraps it up, I guess. We're now just like running into circles and just what else to even think about.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, hopefully, Nintendo Switch 2 will do like better on later down the line. I mean, I don't expect it to do as good as PlayStation 5, but we'll see what happens.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, y'all, so that's the end of our second episode of Root Beer and Digivices podcast. If y'all enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It really helps all out, and from Game Beers every day. And be sure to share it with family and friends. Hope they enjoyed as well. But anyways, love you guys. Thank y'all for watching. And y'all gonna say bye?
See ya. A good one.
Yeah.
I can't speak. I'm stuttering at the end. Y'all, take it easy now. How am I feeling to say that properly?
Yeah. All right. As always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.